Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Jamar back from Vegas Scents, and in this video I'm giving you all a top 10 list of 10 clones for fall season that I think actually replace the original fragrances, at least for me. All right, so definitely stick around for the rest of the video, and anyone new watching the video, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. Also, to anyone watching, do me a favor, leave a like and a comment below. All right, so just to get straight into the video, man, like I said, these are going to be 10 fragrances that I have in my collection, and all of these are clones that I think are close enough to the originals to where you really can't tell the difference between the original and the clone. These either have the same performance or most of them actually exceed the performance of the original fragrance. And just in terms of like a quality standpoint, these are, for the most part, pretty much up to par with the quality of the originals. Really, the only difference is normally like in the opening of the fragrance for like maybe the first minute or, you know, possibly a little bit longer than that. All right. So just to get started with this particular list, I'm going to start with one of the more popular fragrances that have started to catch on with a lot of the more bigger YouTubers. And this one is the clone of YSL's Tuxedo. This is going to be Suits. So in my opinion, this is going to be the best YSL Tuxedo clone that you can find. It has better performance, at least on my skin. In the dry down, it smells exactly like YSL Tuxedo. And I mean, overall, man, quality wise, this one is definitely up there. So check this one out, man. This is Fragrance World Suits. All right, so the next fragrance up, this is going to be a clone of the Dior Privé Collection's Tabacular, and this is from Maison Alhambra. This is Tabac. And I mean, pretty much, man, when it comes to this particular fragrance, really the only main difference that you get with this is it's a little bit sort of earthier. I would say probably within like the first 5 to 10 minutes of the fragrance. And it's not as like sort of honey sweet as what Tabacular is. It's a little bit less smooth. All right. But outside of that, once these two dry down, Tabacular and Tabac, I would say they're, you know, extremely close to each other. Nothing that you could really tell in the air, and this performs like a beast. So again, this is Maison Alhambra's Tabac. Next one up is from the house of F.A. Paris Fragrance World. This is their take on BDK's Gris Charnel EDP, and this is Francique 63.55. And I mean, for the most part, this is, you know, almost a sort of identical clone to BDK's Gris Charnel. Like I said, the only main difference that you get with this particular fragrance, as opposed to Gris Charnel, is just a slight sort of quality difference in the cardamom in the beginning. But again, once this one dries down compared to the Gris Charnel, they're pretty much identical. So also this gets way better performance, at least like 10 to 12 plus hours. So again, this is F.A. Paris Fragrance World's Francique 63.55. All right, next fragrance up, this is from, again, the house of Maison Alhambra, and this is their take on Carolina Herrera's Saffron Lazuli. This is Exclusif Saffron. All right, and Exclusif Saffron, man, this one, pretty much you get the same performance, I would say, for the most part, except for the projection is actually a little bit louder on the Exclusif Saffron. And I mean, in terms of smell, this is pretty much identical to Saffron Lazuli, man. So if you love the way that Saffron Lazuli smells by Carolina Herrera, but you don't necessarily have like those sort of private line, you know, you don't have the bank account for those sort of private line fragrances, then I would say definitely check this one out. You're not really going to miss out on anything buying this particular fragrance over the Carolina Herrera. This is Exclusif Saffron by Maison Alhambra. Next one up is going back to the house of Fragrance World, and this is their take on Bath & Body Works Mahogany Woods. This is Hardwood by Fragrance World. And for most of us, the original Mahogany Woods by Bath & Body Works is pretty much going to be out of reach. It's a discontinued fragrance that you can still find, but you're normally going to have to pay several $100s for a bottle of that, which, you know, in my opinion, is definitely not worth it, especially for a Bath and Body Works fragrance that retailed for probably what, $30 or so. So you can actually get this for $30 from fragrancebuy.ca, and this is a 100 ml bottle. Haven't smelled the original, but again, with the original being, you know, a discontinued fragrance that has risen in price drastically, this is pretty much going to be your best bet. So I would say go ahead and pick this one up. This is Hardwood by Fragrance World. So the next fragrance up, this is going to be from the house of Paris Corner Amir. This is their take on Frenetic Delicieuse by Dior Privé. And this is Frenetic Delicieuse. All right. So this fragrance, man, when I did the side-by-side comparison between this and the original from Dior, I really couldn't pick out too many differences between the two. So this is absolutely going to be one that no one is going to be able to know the difference in the air. And also with the fact that the Dior fragrance is actually discontinued now, I don't think that it makes much sense for you to pay the sort of inflated prices that you're going to pay to get a bottle of Frenetic Delicieuse. So if you like that scent profile, definitely pick this one up. This is Frenetic Delicieuse by Paris Corner Amir. All right, so if you love the note of cherry and you love a boozy cherry, then this one is definitely going to be for you. This is from the house of Maison Alhambra. This is their take on Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, and this is Lovely Cherry. So Lovely Cherry, pretty much, I mean, other than like the immediate opening where, you know, in the Tom Ford, the cherry does smell just ever so slightly more natural. Outside of that, I mean, once the two dry down, these two are pretty much identical, and you get much better performance out of the Maison Alhambra, at least about 7 to 8 hours or so with this one. So if you like the Tom Ford Lost Cherry, but you hate the performance and the price of that one, then definitely check this one out. This is Lovely Cherry by Maison Alhambra. All right, and then going back to another clone of another Dior Privé fragrance. This is going to be from the house of Paris Corner under the Perfumery Privé Zara line. This is their take on Ambre Nuit, and this is Amber Night. All right. So I do believe that this is more so on like the sort of updated formulation of Ambre Nuit that came out in 2018, which is pretty much like a really sort of sweet, fizzy sort of amber with a slight sort of rose undertone to it. This is a really amazing fragrance, especially good for the nighttime. But like I said, all of the fragrances on this list, I think they really shine, I would say, in the fall time. So I definitely plan to start wearing this one a lot. And I would say this is absolutely close enough to Ambre Nuit to where I think that this is definitely worth the pickup over Ambre Nuit, unless you're just a collector of that sort of, you know, Dior Privé line. Definitely check this one out. Otherwise, all right, this is Amber Night by Perfumery Privé Zara. Next fragrance up, this is, I would say, in my opinion, one of my most favorite fragrances on this particular list. I've had this particular fragrance for a few years, and this is going to be from the house of Alexandria Fragrances. This is their take on Xerjoff's Naxos, and this is 1981X. All right. So this fragrance, man, this is a super beast mode, take on Xerjoff's Naxos. This is honey, it's tobacco, it's a really sort of sweet and fresh bergamot in the top. And I mean, overall, man, this one it projects like crazy. It lasts pretty much forever, and it absolutely smells amazing. At least for me, I'm pretty satisfied with this one. I don't necessarily think that I need to go out and purchase a bottle of Naxos. So definitely, if you're looking for Naxos on sort of like a lower budget, but that has amazing performance and smells amazing, then check this one out. This is 1981X by Alexandria Fragrances. All right, and the last fragrance on this list, this is going to be from the house of Oud Rouge. This is part of their Amber Oud series, and this is their take on MFK's Baccarat Rouge 540. And this is Oud Rouge's Amber Oud Rouge. All right. So in my opinion, I do prefer this one over the Armaf Club de Nuit Untold. At least in the dry down, to me, this smells a bit more higher quality than what the Armaf does. The Armaf, at least on me, it comes off as being a little bit sort of screechy. And I don't know, it just smells of lower quality than what this one does. This one per ml, I would say, is definitely a lot more expensive than the Armaf is. I believe I was able to pick this one up as a tester bottle for around like $60, and this is only a 60 ml bottle. Whereas with the Armaf, I think when you can catch that one in stock, I know initially when I bought that one, which was like literally right when it got released here in the United States, I was able to pick that one up for about $65 for a 100 ml bottle. So there is definitely, I would say, a quality difference between the two. I would say, obviously, if you can maybe find the Armaf version and you don't necessarily care about that quality difference, then that's going to be the better deal. But at least to me, this one does smell better. And again, this is Oud Rouge's Amber Oud Rouge. So let me know what you thought of this list, man. Like I said, this is overall, man, this is my take on the top 10 fragrances that I have in my collection for the fall that replace the originals. And let me know if you agree with my assessment of these particular fragrances in that case. All right. So once again, man, if you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. And also anyone watching, leave me a like and a comment. And once again, man, this is Jamar back from Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video.